Good morning. It is your host, Queen Blahma, and we are back, y'all, to watch the Young Thug trial, day 122, you guys. Y'all make sure y'all smack that likety like button on the way in. We are going to just watch this trial and see how it goes. I'm going to turn my screen share on. Thank you for joining me this morning. Give me a second. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm hitting too many buttons, you guys. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn my screen share on. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Let me turn my music down.
Cannot be used as evidence of these defendants' guilt. We are asking that in order to avoid that confusion and misunderstanding that the court includes the language we've requested about the inconsistency.
If you want to just make note of the fact that the convictions in that case the convictions of certain co-defendants appear to have been offered for no other reason than to prove the convictions. No other basis for offering them was asserted by the prosecutor, and that's not what we have here. We have the prosecutor here, if she offering them basically is impeachment evidence, is substantive impeachment evidence. Mr. Harvey, could you send this to me in Word form so I can work on it? Or Ms. Westmoreland, more likely, right?
Yes, Your Honor. I sent it as a PDF, but I'll send it as a Word version right now.
Okay, well, you need to send it directly to me because we don't have, Ms. Pursfield's gone.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may I approach to get your email address and not?
So it's the same format as Ms. Pursfield's.
I think they muted it so people don't hear her email address. It's muted again, y'all. I won't be talking much during this video unless they have it muted and I have time to actually speak to y'all.
By far cleaner way to do what you're seeking to do is to find some literal admission by Mr. Sledge or whomever else it might come up with in either the factual assertions or the plea colloquy itself or something like that. That's then just a prior inconsistent statement that comes in for impeachment and as substantive evidence. And we still probably need to do some kind of a instruction, but.
So I understand the court's position, and I will therefore, until we have perfect clarity on it, I will not tender or attempt to admit his certified of the conviction, the guilty plea convictions. I'd like the opportunity to just read through the cases that have been cited by the defendants, because I am fairly certain, though not completely certain, that they all relate to 803.22 circumstances and not the purpose for which we would be tendering that evidence.
Okay. All right, so how far into, I mean, I need to come up with limiting instruction regardless, though, right? Potentially.
I think that would be cleanest. We would just ask that the language requested by the state is included in a limiting instruction if the court gives one, to the extent that it's to avoid confusion by the jury in thinking that what he is saying and a prior inconsistent statement that he made, to avoid them believing that those things cannot be used as evidence of these defendants' guilt. We are asking that in order to avoid that confusion and misunderstanding, that the court includes the language we've requested about the inconsistent statement.
If you want to just maybe jot it down in an email and shoot it over, that might be easier than, because I think when you proposed it orally, even when you were talking about a statement, I think you were talking more specifically about a statement not consistent with the charges to which they pled, then considered the guilty plea as substantive evidence, which again gets us in that murky water. So
I get what the court is saying.
Why don't we just recess in place? I'm going to work on this, you work on that.
May I ask counsel for whomever to send me the Word document that they sent to the court?
That still hadn't come through.
Yes, I just sent it and love URCC.
Thank you, ma'am.
Maybe it'll take a minute to come through.
And it hasn't come through on my end either. Oh, there it is. Okay, I have it.
Okay, y'all. I think they took their little recess. Yeah, and they are still on recess right now. Y'all make sure y'all smack that likety like button. I have it up on my other device also. So as soon as they come back from recess, I will go back to it and we can watch it. Yeah, they upload a lot of freaking stuff. Where is it? I'm looking for it. No, that's not it. Part of the trial from yesterday. And I'm looking at it right here. Oh, it was 23 hours ago. Okay, y'all, give me a second. Make sure y'all hit that like button. The live trial is on recess right now. So we're going to go and find a highlight from yesterday that people are watching. Good morning,
Good morning, Mr. Copeland.
Good morning.
On cross-examination last week, do you recall speaking with Doug Weinstein about your knowledge of God and knowing that God is in your heart? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Weinstein asked you if with God in your heart, that is what you were thinking about when you raised your hand and took the oath. Do you remember him asking you that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Sure. Last week, Mr. Weinstein asked you when you took the oath to testify, if you had God on your mind. Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he wasn't on your mind, he was in your heart. You remember that?
Because yes.
Okay. And you and I have had discussions about God. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And he asked you, Mr. Weinstein asked you, with God in your heart, is everything that you testified to in trial the truth now? Do you remember him asking you that?
I guess yes.
Okay. But that's not actually accurate, is that, Mr. Copeland?
What you mean?
That everything that you testified to in court while you've been here isn't all true. Is that fair to say?
I don't get what you're asking.
Sure.
You say is everything I testify is true?
Yes.
To my understanding, it's true.
Okay. Well, I want to play for you State's Exhibit 399Y, which is your testimony from a few weeks ago with you and I talking about your ability to read, okay?
To read?
Yes. We're just waiting for the Zoom. I mean, not waiting for the Zoom. Log on.
I need to put the headphones on?
Yes, please. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as Station Exhibit 332Y.
I can hardly hear.
Now, looking at
It's not playing right here.
where we stopped at State Exhibit 332Y, do you see on here where it says Hertz rental record?
I can't read.
Okay, so you can't see anything on that page?
I can't read.
Do you see the name Jeffrey Williams? Now, do you remember telling me that you couldn't read?
Right?
Okay.
Can I speak on it?
No, not yet.
All right.
There was no explanation of that. I think she's gonna ask him another question and you can, we'll see where it goes from there. Go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
I'm showing defense counsel some exhibits.
Y'all, they have it muted again, and the live trial is still on recess. Y'all make sure y'all smack that like button. As soon as the live trial resumes, we will go back to it.
Thank you. Yes, please. Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Cook, I'm gonna show you Mr. Martin State's Exhibit 401. Why? First, tell me if you recognize State's Exhibit 401. Why?
You said, have I recognized it?
Yep.
I ain't never seen it before.
Do you see your name on here?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you see your signature on the back page?
Yes.
All right. And do you see that date of December 13, 2018?
Yes.
And does it say plea of guilty form?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the plea of guilty form you filled out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property back in 2018?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Is this the plea of guilty form that you had to fill out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property in 2018?
I guess.
All right. I'm also now showing you Stacy Exhibit 402Y. Do you see your name on there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see your signature when you signed and date this on August 12, 2013?
I see the date.
Okay. Do you see your signature?
Oh, yes.
Did you fill this out when you took your plea in 12 SC 110195, which was your intern automobile plea?
I guess.
I guess, is that your signature?
What?
On the second page.
If you'll notice, he says, I guess, and I don't understand. And there's another little phrase that he uses all the time. What was it? It's something basically saying he don't know or that wasn't me. I don't recall. His favorite his favorite phrase. I don't recall. I don't recall. He just continuously say, I don't recall. That's his way of getting out of them going through paperwork that he didn't sign back in the day. Like, bruh.
I guess.
All right. I'm also showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 403Y. Do you see your name on here?
Yes.
Do you see the petition of bond that you filled out while in jail trying to get a bond?
You said I filled it up?
Did you write this from the Fulton County Jail?
I wrote that, but not that.
So you didn't write your petition for bond?
No, that's not in my handwriting.
Okay. Well, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 404Y. Do you see this letter that she wrote from the Fulton County Jail?
Again, that's not my handwriting.
Okay. Do you see that this was sent by you from the Fulton County Jail?
That's my handwriting.
This is your handwriting, but you didn't write this in this. Okay.
Yes.
Looking at Stacy's Exhibit 401 and 402, you're on the state like to admit 401 and 402Y. It's happening.
Admitted.
Do you see here on page 4, you had to write, are you able to read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes.
Yes.
All right. Also here on your plea of guilty form, can you read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes, correct?
Right.
All right. And that's what you signed and dated, correct?
I guess.
All right. And last week, do you remember when Mr. Steele put before you the murder warrants in this case? You were able to read the murder warrants in this case?
I don't remember reading that.
Okay. Do you remember when Mr. Shard asked you to read that dismissal form that when your case was dismissed in early this year, that you were able to read that?
He read it for me.
Do you remember reading it yourself?
I remember listening to him and agreeing to, because he reading it for me in front of everybody, so I assumed that what he reading is on there.
Is it the only time that you couldn't read when I had to put something in front of you that dealt with
It's a different, like that's why I just asked, because I explained to you.
what would you like?
Reading and understanding is different. Like, you putting papers in front of me, like, you can read that stuff.
Okay, so is your testimony today that you did not read anything last week when Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard gave you documents to read?
He said, did I read anything this week?
Yes.
I don't just looked at the paper. He reading it in front of everybody, so I'm assuming whatever he reading, it gotta be on there because he in front of the courts.
Okay. Now, that wasn't the only thing that you have not been honest about with this jury now that you testified. Is that fair to say?
What you mean?
On cross, do you remember Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard asking you about the gang meeting with Mo the day before Nut died?
I'm listening.
Do you remember them asking you about it?
You said, do I remember them asking me about it?
Yes.
I guess.
Okay. And this is the same gang meeting that you didn't remember me asking you about it or telling me about it. Do you recall that?
You asked me about it?
Yes, and you didn't remember it when I asked you about it.
What I supposed to say?
An answer. Do you remember not recalling that meeting at all when I asked you about it?
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what they asked me about it.
Okay. This gang meeting with Mo, is that the same meeting as you told Detective Thorpe about? Back in 2015.
I told you, when it came to talking to the detectives, I would tell them anything to get them out of my face.
And is this the same meeting that you told Detective Dennis and Gaither about? Back in 2015.
I guess, I don't know.
Okay. And is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot at the studio?
Can you say that again?
This gang meeting with Mo, is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot up at the music studio?
Was it after? I don't know.
Okay. And is this the same shooting that Nut was at that studio as well when Rich Homie Quan's car got shot up, correct?
Yeah, ask them. I don't know. I don't know who was at where. I don't know.
Now, last week, do you remember saying that that meeting was about you? This gang meeting was about you. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, who I told it to?
Mr. Steele and Mr. Sharp.
It's the way you ask me the question. You got to ask me the same way they ask me.
Let me ask you this. The meeting about the gang meeting with Mo, that meeting wasn't just about you, correct?
Was it just about me?
Yeah, was it just about you?
The part I know about.
Wasn't this also about Thug? Weren't Thug discussed at this meeting as well?
Was it?
He's definitely, I believe Woody has been running circles around this woman. It's very interesting how she frustrates him and then he frustrates her. Did you guys see the clip where she approached him and he started sneezing and coughing and covering his throat like he was gonna gag? And then she was like, "Do you want some water?" And he was like, "No, you got some juice?" And she was like, no, we only have water. And he told her basically, he was telling her, like, don't come up on him. He was acting like she stank. Child. So she started holding her jacket. Then she got the water and set it on the edge of the table and backed up from him. I don't know if it was her breath or if he was just cutting up, but it was pretty funny, y'all.
They brought his name up?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you remember telling Investigator Thorpe that this meeting was about you and Thug?
I told you, I had to. You keep going to me. When they questioned me, I was trying to, bring him in it. I mean, like.
All right, y'all, that is the end of that video. The trial is still on recess. So, of course, we're going to go and find something else, another funny video
Back in
that
2015, did you have a beef with Rich Homie Quan?
No, I never had beef with Rich Homie.
And isn't it true that you
this is another clip. Oh, they're back, y'all. Hold on.
We started well before y'all, I promise, but it just takes lawyers and judges a long time sometimes. So
Again, for being patient this morning. All right, and Ms. Love, y'all's next witness is on the stand, and I think.
All right, here we
soon
go.
she's sworn.
I was actually watching it
Okay.
on a different channel. Give me a second, y'all.
Yeah, you're.
All right, give me a second. Y'all hit the like button. This is witness Antonio Sledge. He's being sworn in right now. I'm gonna go back to the original channel that I was watching on. I think this is it. Here we go. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm turning my screen share back on right now. All right.
EBGE.
Good morning, Mr.
Oh, they got
Sledge.
some real thugs on trial, don't they? Hey, Antonio.
You are perfectly situated, turning to the jury so that they can hear you. I'm going to stand over here so that you speak loud enough so that the last juror can hear you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Sledge, would you please tell the jury how old you are?
43 is age.
Where did you grow up?
Atlanta, Georgia.
What part of the city did you grow up in?
Downtown Atlanta.
Did you also go to high school in Atlanta?
Yes.
And what high school did you attend?
Southside High School.
Did you finish?
No.
What grade did you finish? The last grade you completed?
Probably the 9th grade.
By 9th grade, could you read and write though?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes. Brothers.
How many?
3 living.
Where did you fall in line with your siblings? Oldest, youngest, middle?
Next to the youngest.
All right.
Hey, everybody coming into the chat. The trial has resumed. Can y'all please make sure y'all hit the like button? I'm going to mute myself and we're going to watch.
Do you know of a person named Kenneth Copeland who answers to the name Woody?
Yes.
You sort of frowned up your face. Why'd you do that?
No reason.
All right.
Come on now.
Do you know of a person named Jeffrey Williams who answers to the name Thug?
Yes.
What about a person named Shannon Stillwell or Shannon Jackson who answers to the name SB?
Yes.
Do you know a person named Diamante Kendrick who answers to the name Yak?
Yes.
Do you know a person named Demikion Garlington who answers to the name Lil D?
Yes.
Do you know a person named Quindarius Zachary who also answers to the name Lil D?
Yes.
How do you distinguish one Lil D from the other when you're just talking in regular conversation?
I call both of them.
Child, don't tell me he gonna come and undo what dang on Woody done did with the little D's. Cause when I tell y'all Woody ran circles around them with the little D's, Woody left me confused with the little D's. Woody act like he was confused about the little D's. She was confused about the little D's. Nobody knew about the little D's. You better not come and clear up nothing about these little D's, okay? Only thing we know is it's multiple little D's. That are these grown men.
D.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
And if someone asks you which D, how do you respond?
D.
If you're talking about Quindarius Zachary,
D. Lil D.
Lil D.
Okay, good.
Do you know of a person named Rodelius Ryan?
No.
Do you know of a person named Marquavius Huey who goes by the name Quay?
No, I don't know him, but I've heard it around the way.
So you do know of him or you?
I know of him.
Okay. What about Quamarvius Nichols? Do you know of a person named Quamarvius Nichols who answers to the name Quay as well?
Of him.
Do you know a person named Quantavius Greer who answers to the name Umfunk?
Yes.
Do you know of a Dolly Greer or a Max Greer?
Yes.
What about Dora Greer?
Yes.
All right. Do you know them to be Jeffrey Williams' sisters?
Yes.
Now tell the jury, if you will, how well you would say that you know Jeffrey Williams.
I've been knowing Jeffrey Williams since he was probably like 16.
How many years would that make it that you've known him?
What is 2024? Probably like it's been a minute. I can't really, off the top of my head, I don't really know.
If it was when he was 16, about how old were you when you first met him?
I was 20 something. I'm probably like 26. I'm about like 10 years older than Jeffrey.
Okay. Tell the jury, if you will, how well you know Shannon Stillwell or SB.
Well, I met Shannon around like 2014, 15, somewhere in that area.
When you say you met him around 2014 or 2015, what does that mean for you in terms of how well you know him?
I know we built a great relationship.
And was that from the start, from the time that you met him to now, you all have had a great relationship, or is that something different?
You said could you repeat yourself?
Yes, I can. Did you all have that great relationship that you just described for the jury from the moment that you all met, or did it develop over time?
From the time that we met.
Okay. And do you all still have that same great relationship?
Well, I haven't talked to Shannon because he's been incarcerated.
Okay, hold up. Your Honor, we would move to strike that last portion.
Yeah, please disregard that. All right, give me just a second. Y'all didn't even get comfortable. I'll have to excuse y'all and see you back again in a few minutes.
Mr. Sledge, can you step outside?
So, what exactly was wrong with him saying that Thug was incarcerated? They moved the strike, they sent him out and said, I'll see you back in a few minutes.
Your Honor, may it please the court, on behalf of Mr. Stillwell, we are moving for a mistrial at this time. There's been a comment about my client, comment from witness Antonio Sledge about my client being incarcerated.
They're moving for a mistrial. Can y'all hear? Chill.
It is prejudicial to my client, suggests a criminal history, it suggests a flight risk. It prejudices my client. Also, Your Honor, I would just note for the record that Mr. Sledge, my understanding is Mr. Sledge has been cooperative with the state, meaning he's made himself available. His attorney, Mr. Derek Wright, is here. Mr. Sledge has been here all morning. There's absolutely no reason that the state knew what questions they were going to ask. They knew that they were going to ask about the relationship with my client at this time. The duty is on the state to prepare their witnesses to not relay or testify to prejudicial material, such as my client being incarcerated throughout this trial, and they failed to do so. So we're moving for a mistrial at this time.
Child.
Judge, the state objects to a mistrial.
Of course you do.
That I posed was not one I expected this witness to bring up Mr. Stillwell's incarceration.
How did you not expect him to bring it up? You literally asked him, is he currently friends with dude? How the hell he gonna be currently friends with him and he's in jail? Common sense, he's gonna say, I'm gonna be friends with him and he been in jail the whole time. Child.
We'd ask simply for a limiting instruction for a few reasons. One, Mr. Shart indicated that his mistrial motion is based on the witness's reference to Mr. Stillwell's incarceration. There has been admitted as evidence that Mr. Stillwell got incarcerated at some point. We expect further testimony to come out with details about Mr. Stillwell's becoming incarcerated, and the witness's statement on the stand, even where I asked that it be struck, does not rise to the level of meriting or warranting a mistrial. And I can go outside and further caution him to not talk about anyone's incarceration.
Okay,
And I hope he do it again. He was gonna come in and maybe try to destroy what Lil Woody was doing, but child, he came in and added on to it. Okay, Thug.
isn't Mr. Stillwell, in fact charged, in this indictment with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon?
He is.
Okay.
He is, Your Honor, and I don't think there's any dispute that my client was incarcerated at
Okay.
some point. He's been arrested for these charges. I mean, I think everyone would acknowledge that. But the fact that he's still incarcerated, and I just don't understand how the state could ask, how's your relationship with him on this date or today? And they wouldn't expect a witness who apparently wasn't prepped to say, oh, well, actually, I haven't been able to talk to him because he's incarcerated. That seems like a very
Well, that's
likely
not
answer.
exactly what happened.
Well, whatever the transcript showed.
That's exactly what happened. Child, she said that's not exactly what happened. Ma'am, that's what happened. You asked that man, when did he become friends with Thug? How old was he when he became friends with Thug? How long have you been friends with Thug? Are you still friends with Thug? Are you currently friends with Thug? He said, "Ugh, how the hell I'm gonna be friends with a nigga that's in jail?" Oh, child. That's what happened, Baldy. They try and play on your top. Try and play on yours too, Baldy.
It seems like that was a very predictable answer to that question.
Okay, I mean, it sounded to me the way it came up. Please do further caution him, but it did not sound like that came up as a purposeful question to secure that kind of evidence before the jury. It was
Really?
essentially like, how is your relationship with Mr. Stillwell? Well, he'd been incarcerated. That could be, and that's all that he ended up saying. That could have been at any point in the past. That did not indicate right now he is presently incarcerated.
Yes, it did. Are they serious right now? And even the judge is going for the BS. That's exactly what it insinuated. How is your current relationship with Thug? Well, he's been in jail. We don't have a relationship. Child,
Incarcerated. I'm
fucking
going to
mess.
deny the motion for mistrial. If you want a further any kind of instruction, let me know that. But given that evidence has already and is going to come out that at some point in Mr. Stillwell's past, he has been incarcerated, this really is nothing beyond what they're going to know anyway.
May I step outside?
You may. Do you want any sort of other instruction, curative instruction?
May I have a moment?
Sure.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I believe that you have already instructed the jury to disregard the last comment. So at this point, I don't want to bring more attention to it. I would, for the record, though, renew my motion for mistrial to preserve this issue and reserve it before the next questions.
All right, understood.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready for the jury. We can get Mr. Sledge back in. All right, thank you very much.
May we continue?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Sledge, when was the last time that you spoke with Shannon Stillwell or SB?
2022.
What was your relationship like in 2022, the last time that you spoke with him?
Good terms.
All right. Since 2022, has anything soured the way you feel about Mr. Stillwell?
No.
I asked you if you know a person by the name of Rodelius Ryan. I failed to ask you if you know a person who goes by the name Lil Rod.
I heard him. He very younger than me, so like,
Okay.
you know.
Do you recognize that person to be in the courtroom today? If you just look around.
Yes.
All right. Would you describe what he's wearing for the jury and describe his
He
seating
was
position?
in between the lady with the white hair and the one with the dreads.
Your Honor, would the record please reflect that the witness has identified Rodelius Ryan?
It'll say reflect.
Thank you. Now, when did you first meet Rodelius Ryan, or Little Rod, as you know?
We never really had a personal conversation or nothing like that.
How was it that you came to know of him?
Just in a certain area, like the Cleveland Avenue area.
When you say in the Cleveland Avenue area, that's not, is that the area that you grew up in?
No, I used to go to the park in Cleveland Avenue.
What park on Cleveland Avenue?
Cleveland Avenue Park.
Now, Cleveland Avenue Park, do you call it anything other than Cleveland Avenue Park?
No.
And when you say you used to go to the park and you met Mr. Ryan in that area, what was the occasion?
I used to go over there and play basketball, shoot basketball.
Did you play basketball with Mr. Ryan?
No.
Okay, so what were the circumstances that you got to know who Lil Rod is?
Just by people saying his name.
And who was it that introduced you to or told you who
They
Lil
never,
Rod is?
me and him never was introduced to each other.
Okay. Is it then fair to say you don't know him very well at all?
No.
All right. Please tell the jury how well you know Quindarius Zachary.
I've been knowing Quindarius Zachary since he was a child.
How old as a child?
I don't recall on that.
Fair enough. Do you recall generally about
There go the famous I don't recall term.
how old you were when you first met?
This lady stay in front of the camera.
15, 16?
Yeah, right, probably around that age.
And did you all ever go to high school or anything like that together?
No, he from the same apartments I'm from,
Which are?
Capitol Home.
Are you older than, younger than, or the same age as Mr. Zachary?
I'm
Because the
way,
jury doesn't know.
I'm way older than Zachary.
All right. Do you know about how many years older?
No, I don't know exactly how old Zachary is.
Now, you being from the same apartments, what circumstances did you have to get to know someone that much younger than you?
I know his mother and his father.
Were you friends with Mr. Zachary's mother or his father? Either of them, were you friends?
Me and his father not friends, but I know of him.
Okay. At some point, did you socialize with Quindarius Zachary?
Yeah, he watched me grow up. He played basketball and stuff with me.
All right. Are you closer to him than his parents, or were you closer to his parents than him when you were growing up?
I say his parents,
All right. And which parent were you the closest to?
the father.
All right. Are you no longer close?
We'll have a problem. I just don't see him. He just don't be where I be at.
All right. What about Demikion Garlington? How long have you known him?
Since he was a child too.
As between Quindarius Zachary and Demikion Garlington, are they around the same age, or is one older than the other?
I think they're around the same age.
So it's safe to say that you're considerably older than Demikion Garlington too?
Yes.
How did you come to know Demikion Garlington?
I know his mama when she first had him.
Fair enough. How old were you then?
She probably like 2, 3 years older than me. So she had him at a very young age.
Okay.
So we probably was in, she probably was in high school. I was in middle school.
All right. So were you friends with his mom, or were you?
Man, his mother's very close.
Did your relationship with Mr. Garlington's mom sort of spill into a closeness between you and Mr. Garlington, or do you all not have as close relationship as you do with his mom?
Could you repeat what you said?
Yes. Do you have the same type of close relationship with Mr. Garlington that you had or have with his mother?
Yes.
What about Kenneth Copeland or Woody? How well do you know him?
I probably met Copeland probably like 2014.
And under what circumstances did you meet Kenneth Copeland?
We had a debate,
You,
a
had-
disagreement.
you and Mr. Copeland had a disagreement?
Yes.
What year?
I want to say 2014.
Are you comfortable telling the jury what that disagreement was about?
It wasn't that serious.
Okay.
If that's what you said.
Just asking what it was about.
I don't recall what it was about.
So if you first met him when you all had a disagreement, how did you come to learn about the thing y'all disagreed over?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah. You just told the jury, correct me where I'm wrong. Your Honor, I'm asking him about his relationship with certain people that are very relevant here in this indictment.
All right, I'll overrule it.
Would you tell the jury how it was that you came to meet Mr. Copeland over a disagreement? What happened?
I don't remember exactly what happened, so I just know I remember we had a disagreement.
What kind of disagreement?
It was just like an argument.
Now, is it that you came in contact with him, you met him, and immediately you all started like arguing with one another, or something you heard? Help me out.
I'm
Ju-
assuming.
Judge, I'm just getting to his relationship with Mr. Copeland, and I'm going to segue into what it is now, but I'm asking for this witness to tell the jury to elaborate on something he testified about as it relates to a witness or a person of interest in this case.
Right, well, it doesn't sound from his responses so far like he recalls, so I'll let you ask it this one more way because you're saying that it's relevant. But if the answer's, similar to the last one, we're just gonna need to move on.
I will, thank you. Do you recall anything at all about how you and Mr. Copeland met beyond that it was over a disagreement?
I don't recall.
Did the disagreement last? In other words, did you get over it?
Yeah, we right then there on the spot.
Okay. And so how would you describe your relationship with?
So basically, they had a beef. They dealt with the beef right then and there. Whether it was fighting, whether they had a bang bang shootout, whatever they had, the beef was squashed right then and there, ma'am. Is what he's saying, and he's telling you that he don't remember what the beef was about. Okay.
Mr. Copeland.
You saying now or then?
Starting with after you got over the disagreement, what was your relationship like?
Man, we was cordial.
Since different people may have different definitions of cordial, would you explain to the jury what you mean?
We had a good relationship.
Were you as close with Mr. Copeland as you were with Sequindaria Zachary?
I treated all of them equal, so like I don't treat no one better than I treat the other one.
When you say all of them, who are you talking about?
You just said Zachary and Copeland,
Okay.
both of those two. Then.
Just those two.
Yes.
All right. Would you please tell the jury how well you know Yak or Diamante Kendrick?
How good do I know him?
Yes.
I know him as a great person, a good person. I know him. We have a good relationship.
Tell the jury when you first met Mr. Kendrick.
I want to say probably around 2013, 14, somewhere in there.
Where did you first meet him? Under what circumstances?
I want to say, can I say we was at a party or something and somebody introduced him to me, but I don't recall who introduced him to me.
Did you all hit it off right away?
We built a relationship.
Are you all close in terms of age? Or are you older or younger than Mr. Kendrick?
I think I'm older than Mr. Kendrick too, probably about 10 years or so.
Yeah, he older than everybody. That's crazy.
What about Mr. Greer, Quintavious Greer or MOUNK? How well do you know him?
I personally met Mr. Grill when he got out, 2019.
Was that the first time that you came to know MOUNK?
Yes.
Had you heard of him before then?
Yes, I had heard of him.
Okay. And what kind of relationship did you have with Mr. Greer in 2019?
Well, I got out 2019 too, so but when we started seeing each other, we built a great relationship.
Mr. Williams, would you tell the jury how well you know Jeffrey Williams?
I know Jeffrey Williams great. I know him personally, yes.
How long have you known Mr. Williams?
About 15 years.
How did you come to know Mr. Williams?
When I started going to the park on Cleveland Avenue playing basketball.
Are you older than him, younger, or around the same age? As to Jeffrey Williams?
Yes.
Sustained.
And would you describe your relationship when you first met? Was it good? As good as it is now?
Me and Jeffrey always, once I met Jeffrey, we had a great relationship.
Did you hang out with Jeffrey Williams?
He was rapping at the time, so yeah, I used to go to a couple of the shows, support him.
Okay. Now you say 15 years ago. Around what year was that, if you recall?
Probably 2009.
What shows of his did you go to around 2009?
Nightclubs, teenager club, nightclubs.
Did you get to know his family as well?
Yes,
Have you been to Mr. Williams' house?
yes.
How often would you say you visited him at his home?
A lot.
Okay. Do you know his mother?
Yes,
And do you know his father?
yes.
Are you close with either one of them?
We have a good relationship.
Okay. How frequently do you talk to Mr. Williams' mother?
I ain't talked to her in a minute.
How frequently do you speak with Mr. Williams' father?
Not frequently.
Were you here at the courthouse yesterday?
Yes,
Did you speak with Mr. Williams' father yesterday?
yes.
How long would you say you spoke with him?
I can't say.
Was it more than just a hi and bye?
No.
So you said hello, he said hello, and you all parted ways? You may answer.
Because you repeated.
Yes. You said it was no more than a hi and bye. So you said hello.
I never said that. You said that. I told
Thank
you.
you.
I told you that we had a conversation yesterday. I couldn't recall how long was the conversation.
Okay. So it went past hello. It was that you all stood and
Yeah.
talked for a while.
Yes.
Okay. Did you all at any point discuss this case?
No.
Did you come to know Dora and Dolly Greer through Defendant Williams, or did you learn of them some other way?
I learned through Mr. Williams.
Is it fair to say you met them all, his whole family, around the same time?
Yes.
And your relationship with Dora and Dolly, are they the same as your relationship with Mr. Williams?
Why wouldn't it be though? Yes.
Thank you. Of all the people that I've just asked you about, who is it that you've known the longest?
I met them all about around the same time.
And of all the people that I just asked you about, is there any one that you are closer to than any other?
I'm close to all three of them.
Now, we talked about Quindarius Zachary, Demikion Garlington, Kenneth Copeland, Jeffrey Williams, Quintavious Greer, Shannon Stillwell, and Diamante Kendrick, as well as Dolly and Dora Greer. When you say all three, what do you mean?
You asked me about Dora, Dolly, and Jeffrey just now. You asked me. Now you're talking about all of them. So
Thank
where
you for
you getting at?
correcting me. You're right. I'm asking you about all of the people that I've asked you about today. Of all of those people, who are you closest to?
I wouldn't say I'm closer than now. One of them, I have a great relationship with all of them.
Okay.
I wouldn't divide none of them, put them like that.
Fair enough.
I feel the same way about one that I feel about the other.
With respect to Mr. Marquavius Huey and Quamarvius Nichols, you said you know of them only, right?
Yes,
How did you learn of those two gentlemen?
just send them around the city of Atlanta. Ain't but so big. We might bump into each other every now and then. Clubs.
Were there occasions where you would say you hung out with more than two of the gentlemen that I just named at a time?
Could you repeat that?
Did you ever hang out?
Yes. All right, I'm gonna need you to use your mic, okay, so I can even hear that you're making an objection.
Form of the
I-
question, which gentleman?
I would clarify.
Sustained, rephrase, please.
Yes. Of the gentlemen that are Shannon Stillwell, Diamante Kendrick, Rodelius Ryan, Kenneth Copeland, Demikion Garlington, Jeffrey Williams, Quintavious Greer, Marquavius Huey, Quindarius Zachary, Quamarvius Nichols, if I haven't said his name. Did you ever hang out with two or more of either of them?
What you mean by hang out? You can hang out many ways. So what do
What
you
are
mean?
some of the ways that you would call hanging out to
I
this
never,
jury?
I never hung out with Hurley. I never hung out with Ryan.
Okay.
Been to Jeffrey shows, me and Kendrick at the studio, places like that.
Okay. And have you ever hung out with two or more of the people in the courtroom today at a time, at the same time?
Yes,
Okay. Under what circumstances?
video shoots, music videos, what, club?
Is it only at video shoots and music videos that you've hung out
I
with
just
children?
said clubs.
And which two have you hung out with
I don't
at the
know.
same time that are in the courtroom today?
What you said only two, right?
Which two or more that are in the courtroom today have you hung
Mr.
out with at one
Kendrick,
time?
Jeffrey, Stillwell.
Judge, I'm going to object to the relevance of whether you hung out with several people and ask for a curative instruction with regard to it's not illegal to hang out with anybody in the world.
All right, that's a speaking objection, and it is overruled.
Thank you. Since you asked my definition of hangout, would you please tell the jury what your definition of hangout is?
We didn't actually fully develop that, so I'm going to overrule that objection.
Would you please tell,
Could you repeat it?
yes. Would you please tell the jury what your definition of hangout is?
We hung out and had fun together, enjoy life.
Did you all ever work together?
Yes,
Doing what?
like when we go on tour.
And when you say like when we go on tour, who is the we that you are referring to?
I've been on tour with all three of them.
All three being Mr. Kendrick.
Mr. Kendrick, William, and Stillwell.
And what were you doing while you were working on tour with Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Stillwell?
For YSL, the record label, I was head of security at once upon a time.
Head of security?
Yes,
Did you receive a paycheck?
yes.
And who signed that paycheck?
It didn't get signed. It got sent from the company YSL to our bank account.
Okay. Did you have employees working under you?
No, I only pick, like when we go to different states, I only pick the security guards and If they weren't doing their job properly, I sent them on to,
Where did you pick the security guards from?
from whatever security company they had.
When you say from whatever security company they had, who is the they that you are referring to?
Whatever security company in that state we was in.
Okay.
I don't remember the company's names or none of that.
How long was it your job to pick security personnel for Mr. Stillwell, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Williams?
Overruled.
I don't recall the testimony being that he did security for Mr. Stillwell.
I
Right.
mean, he said he worked on tour with all of them. My recollection is that he worked on tour for all of them as head of security.
Well-
So I mean, I don't know.
Can
I
we
maybe
Or ask him to
flesh
clarify.
that out some more.
When you said that you, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, and Mr. Williams worked together, would you please tell the jury what that consisted of?
Well, I worked it for Mr. Jeffrey Williams, not Mr. Kendrick or Shannon Jackson.
And just to clarify, you mean Shannon Stillwell, who is also known as Shannon Jackson?
Yes.
So what were Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell doing while you were working security for Mr. Williams?
Kendrick's an artist,
Okay.
and Shannon used to be with us, but try to become an upcoming artist.
Is it fair to say then that Mr. Kendrick was performing while you were?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. And Mr. Stillwell was doing what exactly while you were working?
He probably doing other things like selling merch.
They need to ask her what's her point in this questioning. Is it going somewhere, or is she just talking at this point?
Jeffrey Williams setting up the merch,
Now, when you say the merch, what is it that you're meaning?
like selling T-shirts, hats.
And were those T-shirts and hats merchandise with the name Jeffrey Williams on it or something else?
YSL.
So when Mr. Stillwell was on tour with you, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Williams, was that his only job to sell merch?
No, we all did different things. We probably like helped with the clothing. We all did different things. We all just supported Jeffrey in any way we could.
And is it fair to say you want the best for each of them?
I never want the worst for anybody on this earth.
And when you say you all supported Jeffrey in any way that you could, what are the ways that specifically you, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Stillwell supported Mr. Williams?
The record label. We supported the music.
How?
What you mean how?
Did you just testify that you all supported Mr. Williams in any way that you could?
Yes, by helping him get his clothes together, what he was gonna wear, help him sell his clothing for his business.
And those items of clothes, did they each?
Antonio, I think you need to shorten your answer some, but bruh, she trying. She really trying, bruh, and I see where she trying to go. So start shortening your answers and stop saying you helped him so much with whatever he needed. I see exactly where she's going, and you following her right into the pit. Boy, shorten your answers and start saying, I don't recall.
Have the name YSL on it, or did they have something else?
He got different clothes.
Okay. What are some of the other names that would appear on his clothes?
He have what they call a spider.
Mhm. Now, do you know, or did spider have any meaning to you?
See, here we
For it
go.
to appear on Mr. Williams' clothes?
I didn't know the meaning of spider. I just seen the clothing.
You never talked about it with anybody?
No. I don't have them discussions.
When you say you don't have them discussions, what discussions are you talking
I
about?
don't have discussion about his clothing line and what the meaning of his clothing line.
Even though you're selling it?
Yes.
Did you ever hear any one of those three gentlemen talking about the clothing line or
No.
the meaning?
I just only know what YSL means.
Where is it that you all sold the items of clothing with YSL and Spider on it?
Anywhere in the venue. Wherever they had us to set up in the venue. Same way you got.
See, he should have never agreed to nothing about no spider or nothing. He should have just kept saying no, and I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't remember nothing but the YSL. I don't recall. The hell?
Got me sitting here. Wherever they set up and tell us to set up at, we set up at.
And who is it that would tell you where to sit up?
Whoever's over the venue.
Understood. Now, did you tell me how long you had been working as head of security for Dependent Williams?
I don't remember the exact time, but I can't tell you exact how many years, how long it was.
Do you remember the last time that you worked at a venue as head of security for Mr. Williams? The year, generally speaking.
I want to say
Nigga.
2019.
Say you don't know.
And what venue was that?
I don't know.
We went a lot of places. I don't remember. We went so many places. I don't remember exact everyone you trying to.
Did Mr. Williams give you access to places that you had not gone before?
I've been places without Mr. Williams.
I understand.
On my own.
Understood. My question though is, did Mr. Williams give you access to any places that you had not gone before?
No.
And
I would have been like, can you rephrase that question? I don't understand what you're asking. I don't understand what you're asking. And I don't know everywhere that I went with him. So I can't tell you if he gave me access to places I never been before if I don't even remember everywhere we went. I don't recall, lady. Y'all think Woody was something? I would hit her with the lady. I smoked so much back then. I just don't remember nothing. Nothing. Most of the time, I was either drinking, I was smoking, and I was drinking, I was drinking, and I was smoking, and I was doing it all. I don't remember nothing.
the last time being generally in 2019, do you
I don't know
remember what
shit.
occasion that was that you worked at?
I don't remember where we went. We went so many places. We went to Utah. We went to so many places. It was unreal.
Good. Keep it up.
Did you work as Mr. Williams head of security in 2009?
I don't know.
No, I don't even think Mr. Williams was famous yet.
When did you start working as head of security?
I don't know. Nigga, I don't recall.
I want to say, when was his first tour? The rodeo, was it 2015?
So I heard you reference, when was his first tour?
It was 2015.
Is that late 2015, mid or early 2015?
I don't recall. I don't know if it was the middle when it started. All that I remember, him and Travis Scott was on tour together.
Okay. So before then, did you and Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Williams hang out for any reason other than work?
Travis Scott said, nigga, don't you dare. Don't you put my name in there.
Could you ask that question again?
Yes. Before then, did you, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, and Mr. Williams hang out for anything other than work?
Nah, I don't remember.
We party together. I
I don't
said that
think so.
already.
And would you party only at clubs?
Sometimes we sit at Mr. Williams' house and enjoy ourselves.
And before you did the tour that you mentioned in 2015, did you work in any way for Mr. Williams, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, or any other defendant whom I've named today?
When I met Jeffrey Kendrick, I didn't know Kendrick or Mr. Stillwell when I first met Jeffrey.
Understood. In 2014, did you perform any work with either of the persons that I've just mentioned?
I don't recall.
No.
Prior to the rodeo tour or 2015 that you mentioned, did you work in any capacity with Jeffrey Williams?
I don't know.
Could you repeat that?
Prior to the rodeo tour or 2015, did you work in?
Bruh, she just flipped the question around. Just say you don't know. She literally trying to play on your top right now. She just asked you that. Did you work with him before 2014? Now she's asking you prior to the concert in 2015, the rodeo concert, did you work with him? She asking you the same questions, dude. Just, I don't know. Shit, I don't remember, ma'am.
Any capacity with Jeffrey Williams?
Could you break that down so I
Child.
can really understand that one?
Yeah, y'all. And he got a smile on his face. He's definitely like him and Lil Woody. They didn't all been prepped, and this is funny right here. It's the smile on his face for me. I know you're not confused. She asked you the exact same question, just with a different year.
Did you testify that you began working as head of security for Mr. Williams, starting with his rodeo tour?
Yes, in 2015.
Right. Thank you, because that was my next question. Was it in 2015? So before then, did you work for Mr. Williams doing anything?
No.
Okay. And before then, did you work for or with Mr. Kendrick doing anything?
I never worked for or with Mr. Kendrick.
Okay. And before then, did you ever work either for or with Mr. Stillwell doing anything?
No, it don't make any sense to ask the same thing. I told you already, I did never work for Kendrick or Stillwell. Why would you ask the same question?
I understand your frustration, but
I'm
I'm
not
asking you for
frustrated.
the jury's sake.
I'm
Okay?
not frustrated.
All right.
She asking you the same damn questions over and over and over again, bruh. At the end of the day, she's trying to get you to admit working with him before 2014 or in 2014. I don't know what happened in 2014, but child, she wants you to admit that you was working with him before and in 2014, bro. It's all about that. Just say I don't know to everything.
Oh,
And I understood you saying you didn't work for them. Did you ever work with either of those people before 2015? Mr. Sledge, are you going to answer?
I don't answer that question.
Okay. So I take it the answer is no? You never worked with them before 2015?
No, I already answered that question.
Thank you. Mr. Sledge, are you a part of a gang called YSL?
YSL is not a gang.
I am asking you specifically, are you a part or have you ever been a part of a gang called YSL?
Objection, asked and answered.
overruled.
And I asked you and told you YSL is not a guy.
Then if you could say yes or no.
No,
Have you ever been a part of a gang called YSL?
I just said no.
Would you please tell the jury if you know whether YSL has 3 or more members or associates?
You said, do they have 3 or more associates?
Let's start with members. Does YSL have 3 or more members?
Working members?
Does the organization, we'll call it, have 3 or more associates?
What you mean by associate?
What do you understand associates to mean?
I don't understand what it means.
We'll come back to associates.
All right.
Do the 3 or more members of YSL that you are aware of share any common identifiers?
What you mean by identifier? You gotta be more specific when you asking me a question.
Of course. Colors. Do the 3 or more members of YSL typically tend to wear the same colors?
We wear all type of colors. They wear all type of colors.
Is that a yes or is that a no?
I can't answer yes or no to that question because they wear all type of colors. You said they have Pacific color?
Do they wear any particular colors? Yes. That represents YSL.
No, not that I know of.
Okay. What about hand signals? Do the 3 or more members of YSL that you know of share any common or use any common hand signals?
Have I seen 3 or more of them use the hand signal?
My question is, do the 3 or more members of YSL that you just referenced, do they use common hand signals?
Yes.
Tell the jury about the common hand signals they use.
What you mean?
You just said yes.
I was about to say they use 2 fingers. They use the middle finger and the pointer finger, and then they balled all the other fingers up and they throw those 2 fingers in the air. They do that a lot when they see people. And then sometimes when we get mad, we ball every finger up and then we put the middle finger out. These signals, and then also we ball all the fingers up and then we throw the thumb up. I thought those were universal signals though, ma'am. I didn't know it had anything to do with YSL,
Did you not?
What you mean? I can't explain to you the hand signal, but
Explain it. It's easy, bruh.
Can you show the jury?
Yeah, peace sign, middle finger, thumbs up.
Why not?
It's not an individual handshake.
I didn't ask you about a handshake.
That's what you said.
No, I said hand signals.
Oh, I don't see use all type of signals. I don't know.
Would you tell the jury which ones that you do know of?
I don't know of one.
What one do you know of?
You throw the Y, the S, and the L up.
Show the jury how to do that, please.
Talk too much. Just throw your middle finger up, bro.
I'm sorry, I missed it. And where is the Y, the S, and the L in what you just held up?
Stupid.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I just see the hand signal be thrown.
Would you please hold that up and hold it for a second?
Tripping. See? No.
Did you see it?
How do you know that that is a YSL if you don't know where the Y, the S, and the L are?
I don't know where it's at. I just don't seem to see it. I never even try to figure out why the SL is.
Then how do you know that it stands for YSL?
Because we
Because
follow
I
each
don't see
other.
it throwed up numbers of places.
How does that tell you that it stands for YSL?
I don't know, Ms. Love.
You don't know?
No.
How long have you seen that hand signal being used?
I don't know how many years have I seen it being used.
When would you say the first time you can recall seeing it being used is?
When he
Oh, I was
started
trying to
saying
do
he
it
was gonna
too.
have his own label called YSL.
When you say when he, who are you referring to?
And
I
that's
was,
what Jeffrey Williams label is, YSL.
Are you asking me or telling me?
y'all not the only ones. I was over here throwing my fingers up and trying to do YSL too. We all over here throwing up make-believe gang signs. How you do it? Shit.
I'm telling you, that's his label. YSL label.
Do you know an approximate year that you first saw that hand signal being used?
No, I don't remember.
Do you know when it is that Defendant Williams established a record label called YSL?
He been saying it for years. That's what he wanted his label to be, but I don't know exactly what year that it was officially copyrighted, if that's the right word.
Are you familiar with a young man by the name of Trontavious Stevens?
Yes.
What do you call him?
Slug, tick, what?
And how long have you known Tick or Slug?
A long time too. I can't tell you exactly how many years, but I've been knowing him a long time too.
Generally around what year did y'all meet?
I probably say around the same time I met Mr. Williams.
And under what circumstances did you meet?
In the park.
Who introduced you to Mr. Stevens?
Nobody introduced me. I was come around, and once they started saying names, I started remembering names. Once they started calling each other names, I started remembering names.
Who is the they that started calling each other names?
People in the park.
And so who were some of those people?
Jeffrey would call him Slug. You had a couple of more people.
So is it fair to say that you met Mr. Stevens through Defendant Williams?
I wouldn't say I met him through, because Jeffrey Williams never came to me and said, well, this Slug and this T. So I didn't meet him through Jeffrey Williams.
Okay.
I met him just being around.
And did you ever hang out with Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
How often did you hang out with Mr. Stevens?
Not often.
And how would you describe your relationship with Mr. Stevens when you first met him?
Me and Mr. Steve had a great relationship, but we didn't hang around each other like that.
Has anything happened to sour your relationship with Mr. Stevens?
No.
Is there anyone within YSL that you do not have a great relationship with?
No.
To your knowledge, who all is a member of YSL?
What you mean by a member?
Well,
You gotta be more.
earlier, did you testify that YSL has 3 or more members?
Yeah, I said business-wise.
And what did you mean when you testified it has 3 or more members? What definition did you have in mind when you gave that
Is
testimony?
this against the law to be a member of?
Now, Mr. Sledge, I'm curious about something. Did you hear me at any time bring up a crime?
I say it's against, I never said you brought up a crime. Ask the question.
Why did you ask me that question?
Because I want to know specific what you're trying to get at. Or could you just get on that what you're trying to get at?
Would you please tell the jury what difference the answer to your question makes as it pertains to what 3 or more members of YSL you know about?
You said 3 or more members I know about.
Yes, my last question was, why did you ask me, is it against the law to be a member?
I already told you 3 members I knew.
Thank you. Would you please name those 3 members that you know?
Stevenson, William, and Kendrick.
Okay. Now, would you tell the jury why you asked me, is it against the law to be a member?
I was asking you a question like you asked me a question.
I hear you.
No
I'm asking,
reason,
do you
no
understand
reason.
that?
I don't have a reason why I asked you that question.
Okay. Did you want me to answer it?
I would like you.
Your Honor, I believe that the witness's reasons for any of the responses that he gives to my questions are relevant, especially when they come in the form of that type of question.
That's not an objection. Just ask your question.
Did you want me to answer the question?
No, you don't have to answer. Go on with your other question.
Earlier, you testified that Mr. Williams was around 15 when you met him.
Yes, 15, 16, one of them.
Would it be fair to say you met him around 2006, 2007 then?
No. Mr. Williams is what, 33 and I'm 43? So I met him 2009, I remember, because I just got out of prison.
Okay. Did you meet him at the park too?
Yes.
Okay. And did you meet his mom, dad, and sisters after you met him or before?
After.
And was that just going to his house and stuff like that?
Me and Jeffrey Williams hung together, so that's how.
How often did you all hang together, as you put it?
When we was younger?
Start there, please.
A lot.
How do you describe a lot?
Every other day, every day. What?
Did you consider him your best friend?
No, I don't have a best friend.
Was he as close as you get to having a best friend?
I looked at him as a little brother.
Okay. Is it fair to say you loved him?
Why not?
I don't know why not. I'm just
Yes, I love him.
Okay. Do you feel the same way about Mr. Stillwell
Yes,
and Mr. Kendrick?
yes.
Do you feel the same way about anyone else in this courtroom today?
I don't have a problem with anyone in this courtroom.
Understood. Do you love anybody else in this courtroom today?
You're supposed to love everyone in the world.
I agree. Do you specifically love anyone else in this courtroom?
I can answer, I don't have a problem with anyone in this courtroom. I can't tell you that I love anyone else because I never had a personal relationship with them.
Okay. Do you love Demekion Garlington?
Yes,
Do you love Quindarius Zachary?
yes,
Do you love Kenneth Copeland?
yes,
Do you love them all, the ones that you said you love? Do you love them all equally?
yes.
Are you equally as close with one as you are the other of those people that you love?
No.
Who are you closest with?
Sustained.
Would you tell the jury Of those 3 or more members of YSL that you described, if there is any particular language that they have in common or that they use, other than average run-of-the-mill English.
Could you repeat your question?
Yes. Of the 3 or more members of YSL that you know of, is there any particular language or words that they use that is besides the run-of-the-mill common English language you'd find in a dictionary?
Object to run-of-the-mill you find in the dictionary? Nobody speaks like a dictionary.
Overruled.
I can't say because the whole world speaking Ebonics. I can't, like you said, in a dictionary. I wouldn't know what's in a dictionary. I don't look in a dictionary.
What the hell?
So I don't know if the word you're looking for in the dictionary or it's not in the dictionary.
The word slime. Have you heard of the word slime?
They got a whole place called slime. They got a slime event. So yeah, I don't heard the word slime. You got a play thing that you could take your kids to for the slime thing. So yes, I have heard that word.
Have you heard members of YSL call each other slime?
I done heard people not YSL call each other slime.
That's okay. Have you heard members of YSL
Yes,
call each other?
yes.
Now, have you called members of YSL slime?
Yes.
Now, when you called members of YSL slime, were you talking about that big old play thing that kids play on?
Miss Love, come on now. We ain't gonna.
Jury doesn't know.
We're not.
So you have to be
Of
clear.
course, I know they know. They know different from me and you. Come on, that ain't no question.
Tell the jury what you were referring to when you called.
I wasn't
people.
referring to the play thing.
Okay. So what significance does the word slime have?
It's just a slang word we use towards each other.
And when you say we, who are you talking about?
The whole world, not just the Pacific people, the whole world. I call people slime that I don't even know. People be walking down the street, be like, "What's up, slime?"
And when you use it, what do you mean?
It's just a slang word for the streets.
How do you use, what does it mean though?
I don't know the meaning of it. The whole world, I guess it's slime like it, what it meant for itself, slime. The whole world slime to me.
So are you able to tell us anything about what you feel it means?
I feel it means no one can be trusted. That's what I feel.
Fair enough. And is that a phrase that members of YSL, I'm not talking about the whole world, just members of YSL, uses amongst themselves?
Why you want to say they just use amongst themselves when I just said the whole world use? You try to make it seem like it's just about them using it when it's not just them using it.
Understood, but I still have to know, is that a word that members of YSL use amongst themselves?
I don't know how to answer that question because I thought I already answered.
Are you the only member of YSL that uses the word slime?
No.
Okay.
That's a better question.
Thank you. Who else within YSL have you heard use the word slime?
The ones I've been around.
Who in this courtroom have you heard use the word slime?
Jeffrey, yeah, Stillwell.
Okay. Are they the only ones?
Yeah, because I never had another conversation with anyone like that.
Thank you. Now, would you please tell the jury who you know within YSL who have committed crimes intended to increase the street rep of YSL?
I don't know anyone that use, that try to increase YSL. I don't know anyone try to increase YSL.
Did you understand my question?
You said, could you repeat it?
Yes. Would you please tell the jury what members of YSL you know who have committed crimes to increase the street rep of YSL?
Well, you
can't
better
really
say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
because I don't know anyone in this courtroom have committed a crime.
Fair enough. Any member of YSL that you know of who has committed crimes to increase the street reputation of YSL?
Could you put your question in? Could you make it better where I can understand what you're saying?
Who do you know that has committed a crime for YSL?
For YSL?
Yeah.
Nobody.
So who do you know who has committed a crime to boost the reputation of YSL?
Nobody.
Who do you know? Do you know what the word notoriety means?
No.
Do you know what notorious means?
No.
When I say street credibility, do you know what that means?
I have an idea of what you're saying about credibility.
What is your idea of what I'm saying about street credibility?
Like basically they commit crimes to try to boost the name up of YSL. But I don't think that was the case.
Okay. Now, you're saying that you know of no one within YSL who has ever committed a crime to increase the notoriety, street credibility, or reputation of YSL?
What I'm not saying that I don't know a person that claimed YSL had committed a crime, but I'm saying they didn't do it in the name of YSL.
Now, thank you for clarifying, but my question is, who do you know that has committed a crime to increase either the notoriety, the street credibility, or the reputation of YSL?
I don't think it was for the reputation or the street credibility of YSL. I just think the crimes were committed by what happened to them and they did it on their own. I don't think it was because of YSL, if that's what you're getting at.
I'm not. I'm asking you only what I specifically said.
I don't recall. I don't know the answer to that question.
At any point over the past 2.5 years, have you known the answer to that question?
No.
Do you recall whether on December 28th, 2022, you knew the answer to that question?
And when I try to correct you on that answer, you wouldn't let me correct you on the answer. So
first, we're gonna get an answer from you.
Overruled. Go ahead.
First, I'm going to ask you to answer the question, and then we'll get to what you just said, okay?
if you want to stay on the plea agreement, yeah, I initiate on that.
Okay, so my question is, on December 28th, 2022, did you know of 3 or more members of YSL that have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL.
My answer gonna be the same.
What is your answer?
When I try to get my lawyer to refer, I throw.
I just need, I'll let you
Well,
explain, I
no,
promise.
no.
All right, hold on. Okay, but he's not answering the question that she asked. So she's entitled to say, answer the question that I asked. And she
That
has
is exactly.
already said that she's going to let him explain that in just a minute. Go ahead.
So will you please answer or tell the jury if on December 28th, 2022, you knew of 3 or more members of YSL who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
Could I talk to my lawyer, Ms. Love?
That's up to the court.
You may. We're going to take a recess. And use the restroom if you need to.
Thank you.
Alrighty, y'all. We were a teeny bit behind. We're gonna skip ahead. As you can see, they are taking a recess. Everybody's taking a potty break. We're almost at 2 hours, but Strong Mommy Chrissy is live. So let me turn my screen share off because I want to get to the 2-hour mark. So we gonna turn this one off and go to Strong Mommy Chrissy. And see what she's talking about. Strong Mommy Chrissy. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button. When we get to our 2 hours, we will restart the live. Let's turn our screen share back on and see what Chrissy is talking about.
We want you to be stable with your 10 kids.
There we go. I went to the beginning of the live, y'all, because y'all know we need to watch it from the beginning to see exactly what everything was going on. Let's add Pepper to the screen. You want to add Pepper or yeah, let's just throw everybody on the screen. Here we go. And let's see what this girl talking about, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me for the entire 2 hours, y'all. We have made it. Oh, let me set the live up. That's what I was doing. Setting the live up. Well, let me go on a little bit. Scroll through. There we go.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, girl.
Good morning. Miss y'all too. I will put a disclaimer in here. I am sick as a dog today, okay? Sick. Okay, I'm super fucking sick. But yeah, the show must go on. I still have things to do. So I just thought I'm stuck in traffic. I thought I'm gonna go live real quick. And talk about it. Girl, look how I feel. For sure. Today's one of those days. So we'll give you guys some time to get in here because I don't want to say this one way. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hit a like for your girl because if we don't cost you nothing. Give you a minute to get in here. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. and I'm so sick. So I'm trying to hurry up and do what I gotta do so I can go home because I'm so tired. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Hey.
Y'all, I'm making a thumbnail and setting up the live over on Blahma and more.
Okay, guys. So quickly, I'm just going to say this really fast. Um, like really, really quickly. As usual, I'm in a situation where people are trying to target my family, really my kid, and so she's been stalked and harassed. I know who is doing it for the most part, and I just filed a police report because, bitch, one thing you're not gonna do is harass my daughter, send her threatening messages on social media, um, just death threats, all kinds of different things on social media, sharing my daughter, who is a minor, sharing her social media handles and accounts, her every single. And at this point, hold on a second. One second. Okay, sorry. I don't know why it's going in and out, but I was thinking maybe it's because of, well, obviously I'm driving, but maybe it's also because I had my Bluetooth on. So y'all let me know if that's better at all. Better. Okay, great. So here's my thing. You know, I have gone through so much on social media, and that's a conversation for another day. But where I draw the line always is when people try to harass a child, embarrass a child, or stalk a child, or bully a child. This goes for my kids or anybody else's kids. That shit makes me angry because she does not deserve that. If I'm the hoe, if I'm a bad mom, if I'm this, if I am that, that's fine. That's if that's your opinion, that is okay. I don't care what people may think, but at the end of the day, it's not her fault. She's just a kid. She doesn't deserve to be threatened. She doesn't deserve to be harassed. She doesn't deserve for her social media handles to be exposed to the internet. She does not deserve to be stalked. People trying to follow her. We've caught somebody trying to follow her the other day. I told you people are trying to do some weird shit right now. And I know who it is for the most part, like I said, and I'm sick of this hoe. She's a child, she's a kid. Come after me, come for me. I'm an adult. Um, but my child though, she doesn't deserve to have to go through that. It's not fair to her. She didn't do anything to anybody, and she's just a kid being a kid. And so I have come on here to say, if you guys see anybody posting videos talking about Cadence in any way, shape, or form, report those videos, report those channels until they are gone, because that is bullying, it is harassment. And these bitches think that they can get away with it because it's the internet. And some bitches don't even care because
Child, y'all. Strong Mommy Chrissy is live right now. This is her live. It's like you see the services going in and out and everything. But let me finish this thumbnail real quick and get it saved. We are at our 2-hour mark, and the other live is already set up on Queen Blahma and more. Go on over there, sis. I will see you over there in 1 second. My thumbnail is saved. The live is already set up, so I'm gonna add the thumbnail right now, and then I will see y'all over there, okay? We are done over here. Please make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I will see y'all in a second. Bye, y'all.